we're going through bone health, and notice that we really didn't call it just osteoporosis. Bone health is an extremely complex topic. It is overtaking our healthcare system. It is one of the chronic diseases that is threatening to overrun our healthcare system. It is considered one of the top etiologies of death today. It's responsible, and don't quote me on this quote because I'm going off of memory of something I read somewhere, but it's around 20 million deaths a year. As far as, no, 20% of deaths a year, excuse me, 20% of deaths a year, osteoporosis is directly involved. And you can just think of one obvious one, a hip fracture. What does it do to an elderly patient? It can often be fatal, can't it? But osteoporosis, unfortunately, is not just a calcium deficiency. In fact, it's far from it. If it was that simple, we'd be curing osteoporosis and bone issues left and right, wouldn't we? Calcium obviously is very important, but if it was just about calcium, we would have this one solved. If it was just about vitamin D, we would have had it solved. If it was just about exercise, we would have had it solved. And Dr. Stacey is going to do a great job going through these very important factors because they are the foundation, but something is missing. And we're going to go through some of that something that's missing and help hopefully make you understand what this problem of bone health is all about, and really do a tour de force of all the latest in research so that you're privy to more info than the most general medical doctors that are out there who are just treating it with drugs. They're treating this condition as a drug deficiency, and it is far from that. So it'll be fun. So Dr. Stacey is going to start rolling through some of those very important basics, and we'll address questions afterwards. So if we can hold questions till then, that'd be awesome. Thanks.
So what I'm going to start with, because we are talking a little bit about bone health and how osteoporosis and osteopenia came about. In NPR, December 21st, 2009, they had a discussion about how osteopenia came about. Did anybody ever wonder where osteopenia came from? We all knew about osteoporosis. You know, back before the 90s, it was you had to fall and break something before they diagnosed you with osteoporosis. Then they came out with the densometer scanners, and that's what they started looking at. But those were very few and far between in the city, so it took you a long time to get there. You had to pay out of pocket to use them. And they really didn't have a lot of people being diagnosed with osteoporosis until you have a fracture and fall. Well, back in the 90s, Merrick put together a drug called Fosamax, which I think most everybody has heard about. And it's been pretty popular since about the 95. And what they did is they went about and they were trying to decide, you know, how do we get our drug out into the community? How do we sell this to the millions of women that need it, right? So when they did this, they hired a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Allen, and his job was to think outside the box. How do I get this out to the masses? So what he did is he looked at what do doctors have in their offices right now. Not a lot of people had how to scan in their offices. The DEXA scans weren't as common back then as they are now. They weren't as affordable back then as they are now, because now it is covered by insurance due to the fact it's been diagnosed as a disease, right? So what he did is he thought out of the box. He attended some get-togethers that they had for the OBGYNs, and what they did is they went together and they were sitting in this room, and everybody was getting hot and tired, and they decided, they're like, okay, now where do we draw the line? What's osteoporosis? Where does that start at? So they literally said that somebody just walked up there, took a line on it, and drew it and said, okay, that side's osteoporosis. That's all they did. That's how they find that out. So there was really no logic, no research or anything behind that. So then they decided, well, what do we call everybody on this side of the line? So somebody says osteopenia. Let's call it osteopenia. Well, after 30, we all have some osteopenia, according to the research and the studies. So now osteopenia is literally called a disease, so now we can get coverage for it for our insurance to get us all on Fosamax. Fosamax's research only shows that it's really helpful for after you've broken the bone and you are truly osteoporotic. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was something that everybody ought to know on how we come up with things, because, you know, it's not always scientific. So, let's get to some science. I like science. I am going to have Leah, who is our lifestyle exercise young lady, coming out. She's going to demonstrate a few of these things that I have up here, because some people may not know what a Frogger is and things like that. So exercise is really important to build bone, right? We need this pounding, this compression force to add bone, to add calcium in that bone. That is what we've known for years. And it starts when we're this big, right? So what happens there is when we jump, run, and play, we start to build our bone. What's happening to our children nowadays? Is anybody seeing osteoporosis starting earlier than menopause? I think so. So as teenagers and adults, or people that have good balance or are not at a risk of bone loss right now, things that we recommend to do to add bone, because you have to have heel strike, is Froggers. And Leah, would you please show everyone what Froggers are?
Okay, so I'm going to be on the floor for part of it. So I'm going to do it, I'm going to go down the line here so everybody can take a peek. So what you do at first, I'll start here. You're going to jump up, come down to the floor,
And do a push-up.
and do a push-up and jump back up. Okay? So you're starting up in the air, stretching out the arms, jumping. Okay? Then you're coming down to the floor. You're extending your legs out, coming down and up. Legs back together and up again.
And we suggest building up to that.
Let's do it further.
With your toes.
Okay, I'll start right here. How's that? Okay? I'll come further down again. So you're jumping up, coming down to the floor, extending the legs out, coming down, up, and jump.
And notice how she's doing an upper body workout with a lower body workout all at the same time. So you're building bone in all parts, ladies. This flab goes away.
So I'll do another one right here. We're jumping up, down to the floor, extending the legs, lowering your body, up, and down. Okay?
Thank you. Then, obviously there are jumping jacks, which everybody knows what a jumping jack is, but if you'd like to demonstrate, she loves to do these. There we go. Push-ups, which are similar in the Frogger. Jump rope, which is excellent. Jumping rope you can do in your living room. If you have a small enough jump rope and you have a large enough space, these are excellent to do, okay? And then we also put together jump squats. Jump squats are fun because these work the buns.
Okay, so similar to the Froggers, you're going to jump up and squat down. And squat.
A lot of control in that.
So,
Push-up.
Yes.
push-up. There's two kinds. There's the girl push-ups, and then there's the boy push-ups.
Let's see what the girls do.
So we'll do the girls. Now, we a lot of times teach push-ups on the ball because it helps with balance and stability. But if you don't have a ball at home, coming down on the knees, feet in the air, and coming down.
And honestly, if you can just get in a plank in this area, that's a good start. So, I mean, don't think, oh my gosh, I can't do a full push-up. Do you know how many people start in a plank? They'll just hold themselves up. They'll be in that push-up position and hold. And if you can hold yourself for 5 seconds, great. Do it again, you know? And keep doing that. And you'll build up and you'll be able to start to bend the arms and bring them back up. And that's what helps to build us up. We're starting to build muscle to pull on that bone.
And it's amazing how bone responds to this. Studies showed that wearing a 9-pound vest with walking, did you see that? A few weeks ago, can build bone mass by 3% a year while you're walking. It's just unbelievable. So imagine what this could do.
Yeah.
Do another jump squat.
The jump squat, and we'll do it this way. I'll do it this way. So looking like. Okay, so we're jumping up and coming down in the squat. So I'll do it fast. Does everyone see that?
You're gonna make a video.
We're gonna have her videoing. Okay, so now if you are in the osteoporotic range or we don't have good balance, These are things that are great